I am still drunk from 11 this morning. Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Artists Out Here Auctioning Alkaline Artworks all across Arkansas. Lead-based, lingering, lime-lighted laughter mingling while Miles Davis finger paints a mural of the Mighty Ducks mascot. Uncle Gary is learning how to color inside the line still episode of the Days Grimm. My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm.
I'm still drunk.
Yeah.
This is so bad,
he's
dude.
told me 18 times today that the Dolphins beat the Bills.
The number one team in the NFL, let alone standalone the AFC. We're just really crushing it all across the board. I saw an article like 20 minutes before our guest got here, but I saw an article 20 minutes before they showed up, and it was like Miami Dolphins number one team in NFL ? And I was like, fucking eat my ass, you're right, they are. But that's where I'm at, dude. So yeah, obviously I drank too much at like 10 o'clock this morning.
Well, now that you're done back in the Dolphins, to all our listeners and subscribers,
just want to start a Miami Dolphins fucking podcast? No, joking.
I don't.
Joking, dude. Please like and leave a comment on this video. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to all our channels. Leave us ratings on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify. They're doing it both. And honestly, just tell somebody about us, man. That's a huge help.
Still the number one podcast in Evansville.
I hope you tuned in last week and saw Thomas almost die on air. Also, I was drunk again last week. I'm drunk again this week. And Thomas, this week, is now hitting him with, wait for it, that intro. Do it.
Joining us this week in the Days Grimm studio is Cooper, a.k.a. I am Cooper, or I am Cooper on
a.k.a.
Instagram.
Daddy, a.k.a. the painter of the ages. Sir, how are you?
I'm good.
What's
Thank you
up,
for having me.
Dude, I hope you don't mind the a.k.a. Daddy part.
No.
I'm a big nickname guy, so
Yeah.
I like a nice nickname.
Yeah.
And I just call Thomas Uncle Gary.
Yeah.
So every time you hear me talk about Uncle Gary in the intro, I'm really talking about Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah, it's real hard to stay in the lines.
Well, he's learning, dude. He's learning. Yeah, dude. So welcome to the studio, Mr. Coop.
Thank you.
Is Coop annoying? I like Coop.
Coop?
See, I'm trying to find a nickname for you. That's the problem.
Cooper is like
Cooper
the nickname.
is the nickname, really.
Cooper is the name, but Coop, my whole life was
you've
Coop because of
hated it.
sports.
Oh, you did play sports.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Before this, it was my entire life was sports, so it was always Coop. You know what I mean? So,
And I'm assuming that folks have read the description, so they know who you are. But for the folks that are illiterate or just choose not to read, give us a kind of 60-second summation of like who is Cooper. I mean, like what is this that you're talking about? Who are you?
Cooper, I'm an artist, painter. That's what I do full time. About 5 years now. Live here in Evansville. I've lived Miami, San Francisco, Los Angeles, all around. And then I'm just here doing it, man.
Out here.
Yeah.
Painting.
And honestly, I'm glad that you've had a chance to live in Miami. So clearly you're a Dolphins fan. So you understand where my passion for the Dolphins comes from. Do you want to do like a 10-minute Miami Dolphins segment?
No.
Or just, okay.
So before
All right, we'll push right
we
through
get
it.
in too much into who you are and what you do in more in depth, we like to do this tasty bit called the DOT dub.
Yeah, we do this tasty little DOT dub for a poor, sorry sack of human life that unfortunately passed away in a very either gruesome or odd way. So this week's Death of the Week, if I can find my mouse, brought to you by Corn Dog Development. Check him out. He's making these super sick coasters. Also, pretty sure he's not making a stripper pole. Update. I spoke to him.
Yeah, it's a cutting board.
Yeah, he's not doing a stripper pole, guys. But, maybe.
Someday.
He's not ruling it out. Dad of 3 was always known as a lovable hooligan and a man who would never back down from a dare. But one dare he took last year when a friend dared him to eat a gecko at a Christmas party could be the thing that claimed his life. Friends and family are still searching for answers 6 months after was dared to eat the lizard. Would have turned 35 last week. He was rushed to Brisbane's Mater Hospital in, quote, absolute agony, end quote, on December 3rd. 2 days after friends reportedly saw him eat a gecko at the Saturday night party. Partner of 15 years, I don't know how to say that name, Allira, Ayera? I don't know. Begged the paramedics to take him to the hospital after they believed he was just a little bit gassy or hungover. So, moreover, the article goes on to read a direct quote. "We never thought this would happen. It was just a big shock, and it still is a big shock," she said. I'm assuming Ayera. Quote, "He was a great person. He was the best person I've ever met. He was the best dad to our children," end quote. So goes on. Basically, there's a part in the article where they talk about what actually happened to him.
Vomiting green bile.
He began vomiting green bile. His urine had turned black, and his stomach was so badly bloated that he looked 6 months pregnant. His lungs also started to fill with liquid. Liquid leaked from his stomach. They said at one point his testicles were the size of grapefruits. He goes into surgery on day 3 of being in the hospital. I believe it was day 3.
5 days later.
Yeah, after the doctors were like, he's gassy, goes into surgery, and the poor son of a bitch dies in surgery.
On the table.
Yeah, grapefruit fucking testicles.
It's one dare that
Dude ate a fucking gecko, bro. Do you think that, like, as a human being, do you just take the time to just be like, maybe I shouldn't eat. Like, if you have to ask yourself, should I eat this animal? Like, probably don't eat it.
I feel like if he would have cooked it, he would have lived.
Of course, easy. But, like, I want to know what kind of gecko it is. I don't know. Cooper, where are you at on this?
Yeah, I think if he
Dicey.
cooked it would have been okay.
But raw and just like,
yeah, you gotta clean it off.
That's
a little
dicey,
bit,
dude. Where'd they find the gecko? They said it was Brisbane something.
Probably
hospital.
like the dude's son's lizard, and they were drunk and had one too many. You know what I mean?
Well, they said that he was really, really intoxicated. Here's a picture of the gentleman.
So was it a dare?
Yeah, it was a dare indeed. And it looks like I'm not getting a place on this. It just said,
unlike the dare program, it's okay to say no sometimes.
Yeah, and then, like, Nancy Reagan, she had it right, dude. God bless her. I'm glad Corey's not here to refute that statement. Also, secondly, I'm never eating a gecko unless it's cooked.
Right.
I'm not ever going to eat a gecko unless it's fucking, like, medium to medium rare.
I wonder what it would taste like.
Like, I don't know. Like
chicken? Everything probably tastes like chicken.
Frog
right?
legs? Yeah, because other reptiles taste like... Whatever, dude. That's this week's Death of the Week, brought to you by Corn Dog Development, making these super sick coasters. Promo code we didn't say before, but it's Days Grimm. Just Days Grimm. You get 10% off anything in his store. Check him out. He's not making a stripper pole. Cooper, you're from Evansville.
Well, from Fort Branch.
Fort Branch.
Ooh, damn, Mormontown, or not Mormontown. Who's up in Fort Branch? Is that where the Amish are at? No, that's Washington.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything exciting up in Fort Branch?
A gas station.
We have 2 gas stations, 3 I think.
Sick.
And they got a Dollar
Subway.
General a few years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, and a DG?
We got a Subway.
Dude, I heard they're thinking about putting a DG on Mars. Or maybe that was just a funny meme that I saw. But either way, there's a DG everywhere.
So what was it like growing up in Fort Branch?
It was pretty crazy because my grandpa was in superintendent. So everybody knew him. Everybody knew our family. And it was really small. I mean, I don't know now. Maybe there's like 6,000 people there or something.
Right.
So, like in me, like I have that artist spirit, kind of like that rebel spirit. Like I always wanted to do whatever I wanted to do, kind of stuff. Like I just remember every time we went out, we had to wear these like stupid fucking polo shirts and stuff like that, and everyone was always like looking at us and this and that. Because with my grandpa, and everyone said, "Hey, Doc Green, how's it going?" Out of respect and stuff, and it was that was kind of weird, you know.
What were the polo shirts for? Was that for school?
That was like my mom, like we were going out to eat.
It was just like your dress code.
It was just like we always had to look nice and stuff, you know. And I was just like, nah, just like loose stuff.
Are they Christians? Is that where
his grandpa was the superintendent up there in the Fort Branch area.
I don't know what that means.
Like over the schools, in charge of all the schools.
Yeah, he's in charge of like all the schools and stuff like that. So it's like he was like the guy, you know what I mean?
I am educated, but I also like barely got by. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, so just hang in there with me. You're gonna have to explain several things to me throughout the course of this hour. Yeah. So, and that was your dad.
No, it was
grandpa. That was my
grandpa.
But I mean, that was just one thing. I mean, it was fine. You know, like I played sports.
What sports did you play?
Basketball. I mean, as a kid, you play them all really, but my main thing, football. I broke my ankle. It was a severe thing. They didn't say it was broken. I was on crutches for weeks. So I quit in the 8th grade. Or else I was going to play in high school. So then in high school, it was just basketball and golf.
And you drew all through growing up.
Well, I have books at my mom's house that were, the youngest was 6 years old. So I have all these books and stuff. And one is me sitting there with a canvas, and I signed it. It says 7 years old, and it said, I want to be an artist when I grow up. So like that was
sick.
That's kind of like a weird thing. You looking back and it's like, are you born and kind of sometimes like what you're here to do, really?
Man, we just talked to Stephen Matthews about this last week, man. You know, when you tried to fucking die. I can't wait for you to see that episode. I hope you watch it.
Yeah, I pass out right at the end of the episode.
He fucking pieced out. And I'm the one that normally ends the episode, like the outro and all that. He just pieced out. He was like, "Thanks, guys. This has been the dick." And then just knocked out. And I was like, well, that's the show. And I just played the music and we fucking pieced out, dude.
What happened? What do you mean?
I have a vasovagal synocope, which is like when like sight of blood, talk of stuff like that. Like I used to have to take health class from the nurse's office.
We won't bring it up
like,
again. Okay. Let's not like, emphasize on it.
It just gets too overwhelming, and if I get an image in my head, it plays on repeat until I drop. And
yeah, dude. So.
I like went to the bathroom, splashed water on my face and everything. Like tried to lay down out there, and I was like, I gotta finish the episode. And I was like, I'm good. And I sat back down. I was like, I'm not good.
Yeah,
I was
like,
Jesus,
pieced out.
But yeah, enough about that. So
sports. Which one? Well, real quick before we get past that, like, what was your favorite sport to play? Did you like football, baseball? Basketball. Was your favorite? Were you the best at that, or did you just enjoy it more?
I'd say probably a little bit of both.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. So like,
what position you play? You look like probably a point guard.
I was a point guard. Yeah,
point guard.
I had that right height. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. The little guys, we don't really get very much farther than point guard.
Nah,
you know what I mean.
Really,
so what are you, like 5'10" now?
I would say 6.
You're 6 foot? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm 5'9", so I just like belittle everybody that I meet. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm 5'7". I got to take it out on everybody else.
Yeah.
So you get in. So what in high school? You or when did you make that claim? You made that note, like I want to be an artist. How old were you?
7.
Well, I mean, that was one book that I have, but like, I mean, you take classes in school and stuff like that here and there, and then
short of classes, when do you really start taking artistry like? Extracurricular, like outside of like, okay, this project's due for school, and then like when you start doing it on your own?
College. I mean, I didn't really pick anything back up until I graduated high school, and then I went to Indiana State for a year. And
shout out Sycamores.
Yeah.
And you didn't know necessarily what you wanted to do.
I was in business classes and basically just kind of like partying and stuff like that. I was making good grades because I knew I didn't want to stay there. I knew I had to figure something out, but it was just in business classes and I wasn't liking it. And then I transferred to Ball State because my brother went there. So like on a weekend, I go up and hang out with him. Or
Cardinals.
It's a really nice school. I don't know if you guys have ever been there.
I had a stepbrother that went there. He really, I've never got to visit the campus. He could not shut up about it though. He loves the school. Graduated from there. Loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super nice. So I was like, maybe I need to make a change. Something's got to change. So then I transferred there.
What are we transferring with? Business still or?
Yeah, business. So then like the first year of college, it was like basic stuff. And then I was like, I remember like I was going into like the accounting department at Ball State. Like that was my setup. So I had these classes for the first week picked out. And then I had one, like, I don't know if you call it elective or whatever. It was like, and I took an art class because you had to take one or something.
Something that you chose.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So then I took an art class. And then I remember we did that first week of school. And then like we had that first project Friday, we hung them up or whatever. It's like this ink drawing. And then like, I remember after that class, the teacher was like, hey, like I haven't seen you before. This is like really good. Like what's your major in art? And I'm like, oh no, I'm in business. I'm just like, this would be cool to take. And she's like, oh, well, I mean, if you're,
no, I'm just hanging out.
Yeah.
Dude.
but like
I'm trying to get an A real quick.
Yeah. I'm trying to get my GPA back up.
I'm trying to pass 3.2. Fucking
Yeah.
let's go, sister.
3.2.
What did you graduate with? Can I ask, or do you
High
not
school?
want to? No, college.
Oh, college was like, I mean, that was really high because it was all art classes at the point. So like, I got like all A's and everything almost, except art history. I took that. I had to retake that same class 3 times because, dude, we had this ancient professor, and there's only 4 grades all year. And
You don't remember their name, do you? Because there's a good chance somebody listening has been like, "Oh, dude, I know that guy." No,
I don't remember his name.
that's always my favorite. But anyways,
But dude, all you got was 4 grades. So even if you bomb the first one, like the best you're gonna get is like a D plus, maybe a C minus, right?
Yeah.
If you get 3 A's.
yeah.
And dude,
Fuck.
it was so long and I had to memorize so much. And at that point, I didn't give a
trash.
shit about art history. I was always into like contemporary art, like what I'm painting
What's happening now.
Yeah, that's what I was always learning about outside of class. And that class just killed me. I remember I failed twice in my senior year. I was like, dude, this might like keep me back in here. I remember. And dude, I just could not.
You had to retake it a second time. So 3
Third
times.
Yeah. So I'm a senior and I'm still taking this class. And like, I still just did not sit down and take the time to study and stuff. And I was just winging it. And I remember the last test, like I did it and I'm just sitting there like, dude, is this like, I'm about to graduate. Like, is this really going to hold me back? And like, I just remember writing on the bottom, like, I don't know if you know me, but I have been in your class 3 years. Cause it's like a big thing. Like, like I'm a senior, like I've tried and I
Please, God, don't fail
yes,
me.
I literally wrote a note on there, dude. And then when I got my
Please, God, just let me go.
when I got my grades the next week, I get a D minus in the class, and I was like, I'll take it.
Fuck it.
I'll take it.
Thanks,
So,
champ.
So when you, that first week in there, that art teacher kind of shows you that you can do more in art, and you switch your major.
so like that Friday after the class, we started talking. She's like, I can show you some other stuff, and I was like, yeah, like cool,
Sick.
like what's available? Because I was like, at that point, I have no idea what I want to do with my life, but.
Right.
So we went down to the head arts council right then, and then we had like an hour or 2 conversation about like graphic design, painting, all the different things that you can do. And basically, I just called my mom and I was like, "Hey, like,
Which one of these
I
will
think
you
I'm
back?
gonna like I think I want to go to art school." And she's like, "What?" Like, like so we had a
What, are you retarded?
Yeah,
You've been doing business for 3
yeah,
years.
yeah.
What's wrong with you?
So like,
How
we
long
had
have you been doing business at this point?
Like a year and
just
a
a
half.
year at Indiana State.
Okay,
and this is my first week at Ball
Okay.
State.
So she's not that upset, maybe.
No. She was probably just like, "Oh, you're actually interested in something? Cool." You know?
Sick.
Yeah. You're not just wasting my money on beer.
You're not just doing coke and drinking beer all weekend.
Well, and so like I come from I learned photography on my own, but I dated a girl that was in graphic design at Purdue.
Oh, very
And
cool.
so like basically our entire relationship was exchange of services. I exchanged my photography knowledge and she exchanged
cool.
her graphic design knowledge.
Yeah.
And then it ended.
Yeah.
Once we got what we needed from each other. But
there was some oral involved. He's leaving that out.
But I was gonna say like it's cool to like when you go to school for graphic design, like you gotta before you graduate, you gotta have your own website. Like they set you up to be like an independent
Yes.
freelancer,
Exactly.
and then like you also like you know how to make your own fonts, like you know the whole like pre-drawing and then writing out stuff, and like when you go to school for graphic design, it's almost like all around well-rounded artist degree.
Yes. It is, dude, very much so. And I'm so glad I took graphic design for that, like all of those reasons. But so like when I called my mom, we had this conversation and stuff, and they were like, well, we'll agree to this if you go to graphic design because companies hire graphic designers. At the time, I was like, oh, painting sounds cool. And she's like, what the hell are you going to do with that? Which I understand. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I hadn't really done it,
She's like paint houses. Or-
Yeah. Like paint walls.
Are you gonna cut your fucking ear off and die homeless? Like,
Yeah.
because that's the best case scenario.
lead poisoning.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Are you gonna die from exposure?
Yeah. So
Which, by the way, may I ask real quick? You're a painter, so you deal with paint, and you've had a little bit of art history experience,
A little
D
bit.
minus worth. I was looking for this death of the week, right? When I rolled up on Homeboy here that ate a gecko, and I was trying to find one that like pertained to painting or artists or something like that. All the contemporary deaths of artists, painters specifically, that I kept finding were dying from exposure. What does that mean? Do you know what that means?
dying from exposure.
Does it didn't say.
A lot of them.
It didn't say like exposure to
Maybe
it
lead
just
or
said like
chemicals.
they died from exposure. Period. And that was it. Like in all the articles, I pulled one up, I read through it, and it was like, oh, the life of an artist is bittersweet. They say you're a starving artist, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, so
and then they died from exposure, period.
Acetone. How much, like, do you use acetone to wash all the paint off?
I don't do because I use acrylic. So it's like
Water.
super, it's super easy and clean, like to clean up if I get it on something real quick.
Yeah.
Like it comes right back up.
Water,
so like
water soluble, I think
Yeah,
is what you
so-
would call it. Yeah.
my
So-
process is pretty easy.
So you're at college at Ball State taking
I didn't
art.
mean to derail. I'm
No,
so
no,
sorry.
you're
I
good.
just-
No,
it
you're
happened.
good.
I'm looking at the death of the
yeah.
week, and then that
It's
popped
part
up
of
in
the
my
show,
head.
ADHD mixed in with a storyline. So you're in college at Ball State. Do you go to Flags or Full Sail University from Ball State? Or
I never went there.
okay.
No. So,
Because I know you moved to Miami after Ball State.
yeah. So I was at Indiana State, and then my buddy Wes, who went there, I went to Ball State, and then he graduated high school and then went to Ball State because he's a year behind
So
me.
you guys linked
So-
up at Ball State.
So then we moved in together in a dorm there, and then stayed in the dorm for a year, and then had an apartment off campus for a year, and then he like dropped out during that time. We got an apartment, and then moved down to Full Sail, and then I stayed there for another 2 years and graduated.
So what, I guess, before we get to the Miami portion, because you were jumping off the rails a little bit, but so when you're in, what town is Ball State in?
Muncie.
Muncie. So when you're in Muncie for 2 years after graduation, right?
I graduated, then I left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
stayed 2 years after Wes.
Yes, because
Okay.
I still had to graduate because he was only up there, I think, 2 years.
Okay.
So
you
then I
didn't- You didn't
finished
really
out.
hang around. You were pretty much like, Wes, hold up, I'll be there in a minute. And then you graduated and went straight to Miami.
Well, I didn't know what I was going to do. I walked across the stage at Ball State and had not applied to one job offer.
No
had
plan.
Absolutely no plan at all, because I was like, like you said, like I was in my graphic design classes at the end. It was basically like, hey, you got 3 months. Just build
Right,
a project.
right.
So I was like doing like my own skateboard brand at one point. I was doing like my own wakeboard company where I would create a logo.
And that business background of that 1 year probably came in handy with
A little bit, but
numbers
like
and-
I was designing whole brands out with these things. So like when I graduated, it was like, I want to create my own brand and like do that. That's what I'm seeing on Instagram at that point with like the hundreds and shit. Like, just like I want to build something cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to fucking go work for some company and do their bullshit work and design shit. Like, that's just how I am too. It's like, I'm going to do what I want to do. Like, I got cool shit. I just need to get the time to do it, to put it out there. Like, I know I can do this. And then, so I had no plan walking across stage. It was just like, whatever. So then I moved the next day to Purdue because my buddy was going to Purdue. So I just kind of crashed on his couch for a week. And like,
Did you say the next day?
yeah.
Like
yeah.
the next day, you were like, "Hey, I'm graduated. I'm going to Purdue now. I'm just going to move
Yeah,
up
it's like
to
an
Purdue."
hour south.
It is, dude. It's pretty close. Yeah.
You were like moving your way back down here.
yeah. So I was just like, okay, like I got to figure something out.
Yeah.
So he was going to Purdue at the time, and then I remember I went and bought a canvas and paint and stuff for that. And I was just like, okay, I guess I just want to paint something and try to sell it or something. And then it was taking so long, dude, because like I wasn't really painting full time. Like after a while, you get in the rotation, and then like things come out faster with anything. I'm sure, But
Yeah.
it was taking so long, and then I think Wes was about to graduate. It's like the times, it wasn't the same day or something. And then he was like, I'm about to graduate. Like, dude, I found this place in Miami. It's called like Wynwood. I'm like, cool. And he shot me some photos. He's like, it's one of the biggest like art places, kind of destinations, this and that. It's got all these cool places. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
No.
Like up and coming like musicians.
Wynwood.
And then, Wynwood.
I've only
Art
been to
Basel. Art Basel's there every year in December.
Okay.
And like Kanye goes, like Leo, like
Sick.
everyone goes there. And then like I've shown there for I think 3 years now, and it's like private parties. People come in on like it's a really big location.
how do you-
People and then people go party on South Beach. It's like one of those weeks.
It's like strippers and cocaine involved. But how do you? So as a newcomer, like fresh out of college, how do you get your foot in the door there?
Well,
to show.
Yeah, it's you got to get picked and chosen at some
Really?
point. So I crashed on my buddy's couch, and then Wes was like, "Dude, this is a cool place. Like, we could go there and like, try to like build our things." Because he was trying to do his own
Right.
music at that time.
Reference like episode 83 or something.
Yeah.
83. Yes.
Okay. And then, so yeah, like we just talked about it, and then the next day. Like I literally just got in my car, drove to Miami.
That's wild.
And then we got an apartment. And one of his buddies that he went to school with, so it was us three, right on Biscayne Boulevard. And then, I went down there too because his buddy Esteban had just got a job in Wynwood at a record label. And then he showed him like my work in school as it's not on my Instagram now, but like I was drawing all the time and stuff and like doing, whatever I was doing. And then the record label saw it and was like, hey, we need a new like designer, like someone young and fresh. Like, so they offered me a job. So that's Wes called me and I was like, okay, cool. So that's why the next day I got in the car and drove there.
It's because you had a job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was like, okay, this will be a big city. I'll get like exposure.
Some exposure.
And like, dude, like, and it was great,
Work your way towards Wynwood.
Right. Yeah,
which
exactly.
you know very little about at this point.
I knew nothing about it till I got there. I was like, dude, this place
is a big fucking deal.
So cool, And then, so we were there for a year and then like.
You won a few things, right, before you got into murals there?
Well, what do you mean?
You had like your picture in the newspaper or something along those lines there.
Yeah, I did. So
which
like
is good exposure in the Art Basel area.
Yeah. So we moved there, and then I started that job. And one of the biggest things was just like seeing the artists. I know they were musicians, but like their lifestyles and how much they worked, and like what really went on behind the scenes like what does it take to run your business. You're doing promotion. You're doing this. Like everything you don't see, you just see on Instagram the fancy finalized song or a canvas or whatever. You don't see everything that goes in behind it. Calling people pissed off to you need this done, this, and you know what I mean. Like so, just seeing that for that 1 year was like the biggest thing for my mind. While also working with them. And then at that time, I was saving up my money and just going on Craigslist and finding like this wall in Wynwood. Like, hey, got a free wall. And then you come and then you can just like, with your own money, literally I had no money saved up. I had like, at the end of the month, I had like $250 saved up. I just go spend it on paint. Like I didn't give a shit. Damn. Because I knew to get my own idea out there, to take it, put it on Instagram, try to like start, like that's the process. I know it's going to take a long time, but I need to like start doing that. And you learn so much. So like, that's how I kind of started it. And then, at the end of the year, I got paid for a couple of them. And then, right after that 1 year, we, moved to LA and stuff with a couple other buddies. But like, that was really when I started my own like journey again and stuff, I guess, with art. So like, it really,
I'm interested in the free wall thing. So like, excuse me, businesses would call you up and just say, hey, like I got a fucking 40-foot by 30-foot, brick wall exterior. You can do whatever you want to it. Basically, that's what they were calling. That's what the free wall was. Basically,
yeah.
And you could do whatever you wanted, or did they have to tell you?
Well, no. Like I did this gym, and so like for the very first one, and then I was kind of like, well, we kind of like this, but like I was so young and desperate at the time to just like start learning, getting like
repetitions,
eyes on your work,
eyes on the work, repetition, learning how to do it, talking to the people and understanding how things go. Like I didn't care. So the first one, they were like, we kind of like this. It's like, okay, that's cool. And then you just kind of like gain more confidence, and then they might be like, hey, well, like, so what are you thinking? You show them a design that you have already done and stuff. They're like, ooh, I like that. Okay, cool. Then you can do that, So it took a couple times before I got to just like do whatever, but.
So, but you had like a generalized theme. So like if you're going to go paint on the side of a bakery, you're probably not going to like recreate the, chocolate covered starfish Limp Bizkit album on the side of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you had an idea that you kind of like bakery-ish themed, or was it not even that?
The gym, I was painting like dumbbells and stuff in my own kind of like poppy style.
Right, yeah.
But other than that, like really from graphic design, like logo and branding, what I learned a lot. So like it was a young version of the wildflowers that I was doing a while ago. Ooh. And that's what I had started there a little bit. It just at a younger phase, obviously, when you grow them as time goes. But like,
yeah.
So in like the street art world, like that's your logo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you find something, you keep doing it, and you drive through a city, and you're like, oh, that's Cooper over there. You know what I mean? So that's how I kind of like understood and learned about that in college. So I was trying to find something. So like, hey, it's a free wallet. Go throw it up. It's everywhere. People can see it.
So you kind of make a name for yourself in Miami. So then like when you're an artist, I mean, social media kind of helps because it's like a traveling portfolio in a way. But when you moved to LA, was it like, fuck, now I have to start over?
Or did you get to LA and like people were like, oh yeah, I've heard of you?
It was weird. Like, no, not at all. But like, so it was like absolutely nothing at all. But then Danny King, Weathen, and Oliver Tree's manager hit me up when I was in Miami.
And those
then,
are
like,
EDM artists.
Oh yeah. The EDM
yeah. Again, you're gonna have to explain a lot of stuff to me. If I look at you like this,
yeah,
electronic dance music.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not good with acronyms either.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm with you now.
Okay.
But you meet these gentlemen.
Yeah. So this manager contacted me, and then he bought like maybe like my first canvas I literally ever sold. And Weathen and Oliver Tree, they're like pretty big time artists.
Okay.
And so it was like when I got to LA, like then like got there the next day. I went over and like went to his house, you know, I was meeting everyone. So it was like, I knew no one at all except like these guys. And they were like really good guys to like know, you know, because then I started doing a lot of their album artwork and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So like that was like income. And then like, and the other time, like really my money came in, I was doing Vans shoes. So, and then I was selling them for like $250, $300.
Oh, and you would like buy the
I would buy
shoes?
them. I would buy them
for
for like,
your diddle. And then send like post it,
and then ship them out. Yeah, like everywhere. Like I was doing so many shoes. I could do like three or four pairs a day. And
yeah, and that's
that's
$1,000 a day.
This paid my rent for like probably a whole entire year just doing that. So, and then I got into more murals and stuff like that.
At what point does Puma or some like because Puma hits you up to do work? Mm-hmm. Go ahead, top your.
Sorry.
God bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's one of the big ones I wanted to hit was Puma.
Can I have one of those?
Yeah, I'll get you
absolutely.
one.
Oh, yeah. But okay, so you're in LA.
I love that pop top. I love it.
So you're in LA for about how long before Puma hits you up? You're dabbling with the Vans and you're dabbling with these
just
three guys
small
that you know,
things,
the EDM fellows. Right. How long are you in LA before Puma hits you? Fucking Puma hits you up. Are you popping?
God bless you.
God bless you.
That's what you say?
Yeah, he is popping. He is popping, guys. But how long are you in LA before Puma hits you up? And then what does that even look like? What are they even at? Like, just run me through that. How long are you there? And then, what happens?
Yeah. So I moved out there with 3 of my best friends. We drove out there together and everything. And then 2 of them left, I think 10 or 11 months in to come back. Our lease was almost up, and then me and my other buddy stayed there.
A coder, so he's just like locked in a room taking Adderall and drinking Mountain Dew.
Yeah, literally.
Way too much Mountain Dew, dude.
Yeah. But he's a great roommate because he's so quiet and he works all the time.
Sick. Good reference.
He's got his headphones on.
Dude, he's listening to electronic dance
music. I know that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You are that guy.
So like I could have the living room to paint it.
Oh, perfect.
Because my 2 buddies moved out and like we were 4 people in a 3-bedroom house. So,
but that's common.
It is out there. I mean, we were all just like doing what we could do to scrape by.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, like I can have like a small studio. I mean, our place was really still small, but like that was probably like, I guess my first studio I ever had. So it's probably at that 1 year mark because I just got down there, just bought a couple big canvases to start trying like some stuff out. And then
and for people that don't know, big canvases are like 6 by 8 feet.
Yeah. 5 by 6, 6 by 7. That's I like that range a lot. So I just got down there, started doing that. And then let's see, WeTransfer. You guys know WeTransfer, the file sharing company?
No, I have no idea. Okay.
They're a big file sharing company. And they hit me up to do a mural, and like they're a big company, whatever. And I took it on. I did it. I didn't get paid, whatever. But
ouch,
that's a whole nother issue. Like, but the guy's pulling up at his Maserati saying, I wish we could find some funding. I'm like, really? You know, whatever.
Yeah.
No,
Suck my dick. What?
It's fine.
What'd you say? Suck my dick.
But I knew like me having that content would be invaluable.
Yeah, you're out there, dude. You're. Just
I got to do it, you know. So I'm kind of like painting it the whole time, and it's just kind of like, you know, like.
Does that piss you off? Do you feel like you're
because everyone takes advantage of the vulnerable artist, and I see that now that I'm 30 and look back after like 8 years of just like, and it's like, you know, these giant companies. It's like, I wish I had a budget, like, you know what I'm saying,
bruh? How bad do you want me? Because I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, so do you? My question, I guess, what I was driving at is like, once you find out that he says, "Man, I wish we had a budget," and you're up there painting this fucking whatever, you know. Mm-hmm. Do you find that your work, you almost get disheartened? Obviously, you're disheartened, but like, does your work show? You know what I mean? Does your work show that like...
I would never...
you didn't like relax.
No. I would never do that because I know I've always put 100% into it because I'm going to... Because that's me.
At the end
that's
of the day,
who I
you gotta
am.
sign your name at the bottom.
I'm going to sign my name and I'm going to have that photo and that's going to live there forever. And, you know, it's for the people too. They come by and they can appreciate that. And I'm not going to walk away and it's half-assed because I'm holding a grudge against them. I can walk away and be perfectly fine because I know I put my heart and soul and everything into this, 100%. and I'm happy now. Okay, and they whatever on them, but I had to do that for me going forward to you know make it 100%. Like you know,
so you've been in LA now at this point in the story for like a year. Right,
I'd say a year, and then so I'm doing the WeTransfer, and on the last day, literally like final touches, I'm sitting on a bucket, dude. It's hot as shit, and I'm just like,
yeah, it's Cali, dude. It's a goddamn desert.
I'm like, okay, I probably got like less than an hour. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking like, man, like, okay, rent's coming up here. I'm in like a position, you know, because I mean, I had to buy all that paint for that thing, you know, that was probably close to $1,000, something like that. I don't have a car, so I'm Ubering every day. That's probably, you know, close to a few $100s right there just to get this stuff done. So like, I'm really investing in every opportunity.
Oh yeah,
that I ever had on my plate and taking it to the end zone. You know, that's all I've ever tried to do. Yeah. So like, I'm sitting there just kind of in this weird mood, and then listen to music, and I get this email, and then it was just like reading right there, like, dude, it was like God sent. Like, I'm finishing this up. I'm in this like, what am I gonna do? Rent's coming up in how many days?
Woe is me.
I need money, and it's it's just like I'm getting frustrated because I'm putting my entire self out there.
You're literally chips
I'm doing
in.
it. Yeah, everything. Like something's got to come back, and then I get this email like from Puma. Hey, we're reaching out on behalf of Nipsey Hussle. We have this basketball court that he grew up playing on. Mm-hmm. It's actually kind of an urgent project. We have to get started painting next week. We love your work. He likes your work. Would you be able to meet us there in like 2 days to like, just like go over, we're going to make a video and stuff like that. Are you in town? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, of course, you know, like
just email him back, be like, yes and yes.
Yeah.
100%. And then just like fucking email him a dick pic. I don't know. No, that's sick though. I would be like, I would lose my mind. I would lose my mind.
I was like, and on behalf of Nipsey Hussle, and like I remember screenshotting that, and I sent it to
he likes your work. Like that's insane. Like Nipsey Hussle was like, yeah, he's good. Get him.
And so I remember sending that to my
dude.
I sent that to my brother because like I know he listened to him and stuff, and I was like, dude, we've been listening to him, and like it was a crazy feeling. So a couple of days later, Ubered to the school in Slauson. And then like, you know, I'm standing there with the Puma team and everything. And like, oh, we like your work. Thank you so much. This is great. You know, sorry for the, you know, close timing and everything. And then the kids came out and everything. And then like Nipsey pulls up and everything. And like, you know, they started shooting this video, and it was just like,
were you starstruck?
I really was, dude. I've really never been starstruck. I guess probably I haven't seen a lot of stars, to be honest, at the end of the day. I don't really go to a lot of concerts, but when that day and just like every time I was around him, that was, you could just feel his energy. You know what I mean?
There you go.
This one?
Yep.
So that's the court right there with the wildflowers, and then some sayings. They got 4 sayings on the sides that the kids actually came up with: community, collaboration.
Oh, responsibility, perseverance, and
community and collaboration.
Yeah.
And then it looks like in the middle, it just says respect, safety, kindness,
friendship.
That was stuff that the kids came up with in class that they wanted on there.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, and if I may be, I'm like, the downside to being Brian Day right, is that I'm very brash. Like, I just generally don't think before I speak. So I'm going to say one thing and then immediately follow it up with another. Yo, kids suck, dude. So I say that kids suck. Like, I mean that. Like, I just generally do not like them. I don't know what, they don't like me. Most of them don't like me. But there is like there's something to be said about a child's like persona. Like when they say something, like, I don't know. What am I trying to get at? Like they're
very brash.
They are a lot like me. I think that's why I don't like them. They're like, your hair looks funny. And I'm like, yeah, it's called a receding hairline. Okay. Why don't you fucking eat shit? You're 9 years old. I'll drop kick you through the drywall. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, that's why I don't like kids. I think it's because they're so much like me.
Yeah.
So kids suck, but also like that's huge. That's
and those
dope.
kids are gonna remember it forever.
Their entire lives, dude. As long as that court stands, and even after. So that's fucking gnarly, dude. And then obviously,
And then
we're looking
so
at a
you
picture
did some
here.
custom basketballs as well.
I painted 2 basketballs. I did. It's like the Puma logo and his logo. It was like all money, and that was like his brand and stuff. And then I put the wildflowers on there. And then the school, actually, we gave one of them to him, and then I actually took the other one up to him, and I was like, hey, like, I would really like you to have this and everything. He's like, oh, dude, thank you so much. This is awesome. And then, like, I don't know, 20 minutes later, we're doing everything, and then, like, I see him and, like, his people or whatever walking off, and then I see the ball on the ground, and I was like, okay, well, that's cool. He probably gets free shit all the time. So I kind of went over there and grabbed it before, like, someone else did, because I was like,
right.
And now I still have that with me in my
That's
studio in a case,
awesome.
and, like, that's a very special. I don't really ever keep my artwork. I make something and it goes out to, a
Get
client.
it out, yeah.
Someone who buys it. But like that is a special thing,
Especially
that I'm glad
now, too.
that I grabbed that and I kept it.
That's fucking gnarly, man. And then like obviously,
R.I.P. Nipsey.
Yeah, obviously, I was gonna follow up with like, Jesus fuck, like rest the fucking peace, man. Like too soon.
So what's next after Puma?
Yeah, what happens after that venture in LA? Where do we go from here?
Because I'm sure that brings huge exposure.
So that was really big. We got that done. And I would say the day we got it done was probably the most inspirational day I've ever had as an artist, maybe, or just even as a person. And so I showed up, he showed up and everything. And then like they're getting the kids out. And then like, he's just kind of like walking on the court, looking around and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I hope he fucking likes it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then
fucking Nipsey fucking
yeah,
awesome.
I know. And then I'm like, they got the cameras, and people are like there. And then like, I'm kind of like on the court too. And then like, he turns around and he looks at me and he like, just looks at me. He's like, dude, this is fucking dope. And then like, he shakes my hand and everything, gives me like a hug and everything. And like, but when he looked at me and said that, like, like he didn't have to say that, but like that, I still literally think about that. Like, every other day now of how much inspiration that was, because he gave me like the okay to be creative and like, hey dude, like this is like, just keep going. You know?
Like an OG stamp of approval.
Yes. Yeah. And like, that just meant the world to me,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then so,
what
happens
next after this?
So
Do you stay in LA very long after the Nipsey?
Yeah.
After the Puma deal?
yeah, so we did that. And then, I was working on some canvases at the time. And then actually 3 months later, after that very picture right there, he got shot just like 3 miles up the street at his clothing store. And it was crazy because my grandpa had just died like the week before, or a few days. My grandpa died. I hopped on a plane, went to Indiana, and then we had his funeral. And then we did like, we're at what do you call it? Like tax place or whatever. I don't know. We're like talking stocks. What do you call those places?
Right.
Like a brokerage?
Investment
Yeah,
brokerage.
something like that. And then like we're having this big, we're waiting to go next, and like all my family's there and stuff, and my mom's sitting next to me, and literally NBC News comes on, and it's footage of him on the court, and my art's going, and my mom's like, what? Look, this.
You're on the news.
Yeah, like it was like she couldn't even believe it. I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Yeah, I'm a fucking big deal. Okay, bitch. No, I'm joking.
no.
Like, why don't you fucking quiet down next time you tell me to clean my fucking room? Okay.
Yeah. So that was like a crazy like moment. We just happened to be there with that,
And then they were obviously covering the story that
they
you
were
got
covering the
shot.
story, and like they asked me NBC asked me to come to the court and to do an interview, but I was home helping with my grandpa's funeral and things like that, so I couldn't be there, unfortunately, to talk about the court and stuff. And then flew back out, and then I had a couple very small group shows that I was in, like in Venice, at like kind of these places. They're like bar calls, to be honest. Like you're selling stuff for like.
Is Venice in California?
Yeah, Venice, California.
It's like LA basically, but like, what's a bar call?
Bar crawl.
Oh, bar crawl.
So
okay.
Venice. This place is right on the beach, so it's like there's a bunch of places. These people are coming in drunk and stuff, looking at your stuff. They go, "Oh, cool," and then they leave. And I maybe sold like one print one time for like $10. They're not really there to buy, but it was just like other opportunities that I had or whatever to just try to sell my stuff, or try to sell it on IG and things like that. And then let's see, I'm looking at my IG. So did the court, and then right after the Puma court, I got a call from Coach. And they wanted to do that mural that you're looking at right there with my wildflowers. And then it was for National Women's Day. So they wanted my wildflowers to represent growth right there with the grass.
Oh, this one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotcha.
And then they hired another girl who does these poems and stuff. So I put her poem on there, and then I was there with my wildflowers and stuff. And then unfortunately it didn't happen, but Selena Gomez was supposed to show up. And then like all us three artists would have been there, do like photos and like have all the kids come out and like surprise the kids with this project. But unfortunately a couple of days before, I don't want to say she checked herself into a rehab, but like something went on where she had to, like,
let's just say she got COVID. That's a good excuse.
She got COVID.
She probably had the vid.
It was something. It was something like
2015, but she was the first case. What year is that? Where are we at? Right about
I have
now?
no idea.
Let's see when you posted
19?
this.
Is it 19?
Yeah, 2019. Oh, COVID. That's a possibility. Let's not rule it out.
That was still before, but so I did that. That was pretty cool. And then I got, let's see.
So do you feel like you get a lot of do you feel like you put a lot of work out in LA? Like LA is a big part of your resume for you as far as like this job, that job, mural here, canvas here. So like, what do you think while you're in LA? What was your favorite? Because you spend how long in LA? 6 years?
No, like 2 years.
Oh, it was only 2 years? So out of the 2 years you're there, what's your favorite spot or your favorite job? Short, I mean, obviously Nipsey, huge.
Yeah.
Puma, huge. Short of that, what was your favorite banquet or showing or whatever, or gig or whatever you had? What was your favorite one in LA? And do we have something that we can look at?
Yeah, actually, to be honest, it's the next project with Mountain Dew at the Dew Tour.
Which one's that?
Me sitting on that ledge right there, the skate park up left. No. Up left. Yeah, that one right there.
Sick.
So the next project was with Mountain Dew. Have you guys heard of the Dew Tour?
That's sort of just like a bunch of skaters get together and go around. Like Lil Wayne went there one year, I believe.
Yeah. They have like big people and stuff, but like
well, he's a good skater. Just like for the record, like he can skate.
Yeah.
So they reached out to me and they pick one artist to brand everything.
Oh, it's no big deal, but it's like, hey, you're gonna brand everything.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to put any pressure on you, but
your
like,
old roommate's hitting you up. Can y'all get a discount on a case now?
Dude, he's still geeking out, fucking headphones, Adderall, fucking EDM music. He's like, hey man, I heard you got the gig. Hook me up with some MD. Like, fuck, dude, relax. Did you get some free Mountain Dew out of this or no?
we got a lot of free
we got
stuff.
a shitload of free
dude.
And by we, he means him and his old roommate. If you're listening to this with your headphones on, dude, big shout out to you, dude.
Yeah.
So the Dew Tour, big skate park. So they chose you to brand everything, and it's.
Did you get like a custom Mountain Dew can or bottle with your stuff on it?
We did like skateboards, limited edition skateboards with all the logos I have at the house with the packaging still on them. We did. All of this branding on they had two different. I'm not a skateboarder, but they had like the street course and then whatever this one's called, just the bowl or something.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all around the trimming. Like we did shirts, hats, hoodies.
God, you were busy as fuck then.
Socks.
How long does this project take you?
Dude, that project
6
right
months?
there took
6 months.
Yeah, at minimum, maybe 8 months. Because then we did if you go back, we did 2 commercials too. One with Mountain Dew and then one with AT&T. I think that's AT&T. The orange one.
Oh, this one.
I think that's AT&T or
Oh, I can
Boost Mobile.
I can actually get sound on this if you want.
Yeah, dude, it's hilarious.
That's fucking sick. This is basically all you.
This is all of my hand drawing too.
And so you're not doing the animation though.
No.
So basically, you're project managing a whole course with your drawings.
I'm like 20, like 5, I don't know, like that, and they're like
sick. He flips the switch,
and they're like, "Hey, we need 1,000 drawings for this," and I'm like, "What? I don't even know what you're talking about, dude." This
we
probably
need 1,000 drawings.
This probably took over a month just for me to do this by myself. All of these drawings, dude. I had literally stacks this big from this right here.
So I need to know: were you switch it up with Boost Mobile? Did you have a connection or an in with the individual that helped bring that to life? I guess the animator or the. Do you know who that person was?
Mm-hmm. Who
was
he's
that,
awesome.
out of curiosity.
I know I tagged him.
It wasn't Andy D. Baker, was it?
Yeah, he's awesome, dude.
Oh,
yeah,
that's neat. Okay,
and he's from London. I'm pretty sure, but he does their
big shout out to London, dude. Mm-hmm. Just don't forget who won the war, dude. Honestly, but he helped you like bring your.
He does all this, but he does it for them every year. So it was like I knew when I got picked because I had followed that before. Right. I was gonna work with him, and like I loved his work, and I was like, oh my god, like he's gonna animate my fucking shitty ass drawings. This is insane.
Dude, this is fucking lit.
Yeah, I was like, why?
These are not shitty drawings, bro.
No. It's fun. Like, it's my style. It's cool.
Yeah, it's like if I was like tripping acid and probably drank too many Mountain Dews.
Yeah,
this is like where I'm at.
Yeah,
in my mental space. You know, I am a wallflower on a skateboard. Like just decking it out.
Yeah. Do you think like
that's gnarly?
Do you think Maddox and any other big names were scouting you out at this time?
Yeah, we need to get to Maddox, dude. That's a good call.
Not at this point because I wasn't doing like lots of canvases. So all of my stuff was in the street, like murals. Right. So I was getting opportunities for murals.
In the trenches, basically.
Yeah, and stuff like that. Like that was my business plan at that point. The wildflower was my logo, and I'm building this, putting it everywhere, and then that's the route I was going. Now I'm going more of the gallery route.
So how much of a time difference is there between Do Tour and like switching more to canvas?
So that after I did the Do Tour, that was probably right after that. I was like, I need a break from this like route,
like commercial rush,
a little bit because
deadlines, timelines.
And I was just kind of getting tired of drawing the same thing over and over. Like
I could see that, yeah.
And like I know legends that are like 50 or something, and they still do the same thing and over, and that's fine. But like I needed to go into that unknown creative space. Who's
that guy that just died?
I don't know.
Happy Trees.
Oh, Bob Ross.
Dude could fucking smack the shit out of a tree, and he did it for 100 years. Mm-hmm. You know, he was on TV for like 100 years, drawing the same goddamn tree.
TV. Yeah,
and he's just smacking dicks, dude.
Yeah.
He's still making money. He's been dead for like 10 years.
Yeah,
it's insane.
He's got toys.
Like if you're a G and you're good at drawing fucking Pikachus, and you can make a living, draw Pikachus your whole life.
But that's the thing, though. Like you do have to understand like where your money's coming from as an artist on the and that's why I went with that. I went super hard with the wildflowers because that's where it was building. That's where the money was coming from. That was my business route. And then I just kind of like
that was your brand.
Yeah,
that was you. Like flashback to college. I want to build a brand and do sick shit.
Exactly.
You're fucking doing it now. You're 25 and you're doing it.
And a lot of traveling, and that gets tiring.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize like traveling and then like working outside combined take a toll.
Yeah. Not to cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say if you scroll down right there to see that big mural.
This one?
Down to the right.
Oh, the building?
Yeah, so like that took like close to a month, and like
God,
I was out there.
That only took you a month.
Dude, by myself too, because I didn't have any money for assistants, and everyone's like, dude, get people to work for you. I'm like, with whose money? You know what I mean? It's just the nature of the business. And, you know, I'm out there at probably like 5:30, and I lived probably 30 minutes away from there. I got to get an Uber and pay for that. And because it's like, dude, it gets hot. So in the afternoon, I got to go inside and take a little break. And I'm probably wrapping it up about 8 or 9, get home. Literally, didn't have money, so I was drinking these like shake things and then just crashing.
Or like
bed.
ramen noodles. Like
literally, yes.
Yeah, just eating shit.
So on a project like this, do you start from the top or the bottom? Or the left to the right?
I think I came down with it, to be honest.
Does it matter though? Or
it doesn't matter.
And then like you're stenciling. So you stencil first.
Yeah,
clearly.
yeah. So I'm out there at night with a big giant projector that's literally like a mile away because that thing is so big.
It's like a laser projector.
That's how they used to do billboards.
Yeah. No,
For
yeah,
sure,
they used to stencil them the same way.
But ultimately, I just wanted to say the lifestyle of that, I was like, dude, I'm like, my back is giving out on me. I'm in an Uber half the day. I'm just like, I don't want to do this. Literally, like I was getting no sleep. I'm in the sun all day. Like it was just like too much. I needed a break. So that's why I started like, okay, I know in the future I want to be a gallery artist. Right. So right after the Do Tour thing, I was like, I'm going to put more of my time into this while I have some money now from this. Yeah, can pay some rent.
Big bump.
And so then that's when I started doing more of the canvases, and then I would just put them on my IG, and I was building my following then, and then literally everyone I just put on just kept selling.
So when we switched to canvas, I mean, do we ditch the sunflower logo, if you will, and now you're like more chic and more like, you're probably pretty good with adjectives, but you're going away from like the wallflower to like a Galleria style, like, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. I think chic is the best thing, but like fancy. Is that the right word? I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Well, like you're up in your game and you're going in front of people with money that probably have intentions to buy. That's typically what a gallery is, right?
And you moved from LA to Evansville to your own basically home studio of your free range of creativity.
Yes. So I moved in December 2019. So just say 2020, and then March 2020, March 16th, Evansville got the shutdown of COVID because my birthday was March 17th. So all my buddies are at my house. We're drinking. My mom stopped by after work, brought some cake, and like we're partying in Evansville, about to go out. And I remember, and then we couldn't go out. And I was like, okay. So we just stayed in. So I'll never forget, like we were going out for my birthday, and then the city shut down. And I had just moved back then. Because
you were like, fuck this place.
Well, I think it was a good time to lock in with your art.
It was, dude. It was the perfect time because I had murals all year set up to go make money still off this, while I was like, I'm going to put more of my time into the gallery focus. But I don't know my style. You got to figure out a style. You got to figure out things people aren't doing. You got to figure out what means a lot to you, what's true. And then you got to put it on this canvas. And you got to build that up. You got to get consistency.
It's a different beast.
It's a whole different beast. And I was like, this is going to take years. I'm going to move back to Evansville.
Slow down.
And then just figure this out. And then every canvas I was putting on the thing just sold. Well, and everything's happened so fast.
I'm sure cost of living is drastically less here.
Wildly cheaper here.
To be honest, I pay more now than I've ever paid out there.
Wow.
Just because
for like rent?
Yeah, because I have like a 2-story like loft.
Are you downtown?
Yeah.
That's
above,
why. That's why.
You know second language?
No.
Pizza.
I know Spanish.
Second language. You have an there downtown with the new ramen spot?
It's good. It's right there on the corner by One Main.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No,
so, but I'm at a point where like this show, like I have so much shit. I have 30 canvases for this show. I have an assistant now. It's like I have to spread out. So this was the only place that I could find where I could still live downstairs.
To sprawl.
I could still live downstairs and I have an upstairs studio, or else it's like you're trying to pay for some studio somewhere and then I got to pay for this other apartment stuff. So it is a more combined expense at the end of the day, but I'm getting everything exactly what I need. You know what I mean?
Square footage for like niche things like that, like we've found that looking for a studio, like a 900 square foot studio that we can smoke in, is fucking impossible in Evansville.
Dude,
it's so outrageous.
Yes.
Like everywhere you look, it's like, we want $9,000 a month, and it's like, why don't you fucking not, dude? Just chill out. It's not LA. We get it, but it's expensive no matter where you go. Yeah. So, am I seeing shots of your loft here? Is this like in your loft here in Evansville?
That is my Evansville loft. Yes.
That's sick, dude.
Correct.
I like the exposed brick.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Clearly. Oh, hell yeah. Very artsy. I like it.
Hell yeah.
And then also the piece too. So now you're 2020, Evansville's locked the fuck down, and you're just sprawling all over your upstairs with all these different works.
But they're selling too.
What's your biggest, I guess, since 2020 to date, what's the biggest job you've had, or the most?
Well, I wouldn't do that.
Don't want to do that
What point does Maddox contact you?
Oh, shit, yeah. Skipped over that. My bad.
No, you're good. So I think in 2020, I took it off now, but I did a show downtown Evansville at the Gallery Arts Win. I don't know if you've heard of it. But so I did like a show there of just pieces that I had sitting around probably from the last 2 years or whatever.
That weren't up for sale.
Yeah, just things like that. And it was like combined with the wildflowers and then like my new still lifes. And so we did a show there, but it was during COVID, so they like couldn't like actually invite people. So it's basically just like me and my family, and then like
online.
I think like a handful of people of my people through Instagram, like clients that I was trying to build, bought them. But it was like, it kind of sucked because COVID, so like hardly anyone could be in there and stuff, whatever. And then actually Guy Hepner, a gallery in New York, saw what I was putting out and they liked the work and stuff, and they hit me up and they were like, hey, we want to have a show with you, we like your stuff. And I was like, oh awesome, when? Because like I was like, let's do it like when,
right.
You know what I mean? That's my next one.
I got 30 paintings ready.
Yeah.
I don't think Evansville flies to New York, but I'll drive to Louisville fucking now.
Yeah. So they were like, well, it's during COVID, so like we can't have a lot of people in the gallery, like, you know, like we could do something online, but like if that doesn't work for you, if it's not, and I was like, let's fucking do it. What do you mean?
It works.
For me, I was like, that's my next thing. I'm attacking this.
Yeah.
So I created 6 brand new 6 by 7 foot canvases.
That's fucking huge.
And we sold them all before we dropped them online to clients.
Damn.
And because they were posting about me, hey, upcoming stuff. So they had a bunch of people coming in. They're like, hey, what is it? We'll pay it. So that when we put it out, it was like, hey, it's already gone. That was perfect. And then that's when Maddox caught the attention of those new works.
Who is that? Explain a little bit who they are.
Maddox Gallery is a gallery in London. They have 2 locations there, and they have 1 location in Los Angeles, and they are building another big location in Beverly Hills right now. So they will have 2 locations in LA, and then they have another location in Switzerland, Stade, Switzerland. So they're in kind of like 3 locations, and they've been around since 2015. So they're actually very new for a gallery.
Is this the equivalence of like in the music industry, a label, if you will?
You know, because I'm the artist, I think about it like that.
That's how I'm imagining it, but I just wanted to see if I was wildly off with how I'm depicting this in my brain or how I'm sorting it.
You're right, because they have so many resources that they're providing me for the show, bringing me clientele, or if you're, you know, fan base, you know, they're bringing all of this to me. So
and
like
you even mentioned it in your episode of Mining in the Foothills, you know, you get their logistics team, you get their, you know, their customer list, you get, so you're not getting bent over the coals necessarily, especially with this new company. As you stated in that episode, they do take care of their artists fairly well.
And do check out Mining in the Foothills. Host is Wes Luttrell. They come out on Fridays. At the time I'm spacing,
Don't know.
I don't remember if it's 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Check him out. They drop on Fridays. He's on YouTube, and he's moving to other audio casters as well. But you were episode, I believe, number 5?
Yes.
Yeah, crushed it. I love Wes so much.
Yeah, he's great.
But yeah, you crushed it on there, and you're crushing it here, obviously.
But you were talking about, so like, so
raked over the coals.
So, well, I was gonna say when Maddox hits you up, like, you know, you got to go over the contract and stuff. But was there a thought process of like, do I stay independent or do I sign? Like, what made you lean more towards signing?
Yeah. So, I mean, what's funny real quick is October 13th is my show next month, and we'll get in that in a bit. But last October, that same week, they flew me out just because I was working on the Guy Hepner stuff. And then we actually brought in 15 commissions from Guy Hepner after the show. Damn. So I was working on them all year, and they were like reaching out multiple times like, hey, we want to work with you. And I'm like, I know I'm busy. Yeah. And then eventually they just sent me there and was like, hey, like, we have this flight planned. Like, we want to shake hands. Yeah. Basically it was like, we want to like talk to you now. So, so they flew me out October 13th last year. And that's Freeze Week, which is one of the biggest art fair in London all year. So it was really nice. They flew me out. They had a show from another artist. And then I got to see all of these other big galleries there too, of all these other artists. And like, I'm in London for the first time, and like, I'm creating work. I made 2 paintings for them when I was there, just to say like, look, I'm fucking serious. Like, this is what I'm trying to do, you know? Right.
You're
instead of just sitting around fucking off all day.
Watch my process.
You're internationally networking, dude. You're meeting a lot of guys and gals with just probably remarkably bad teeth, but a lot of money. That's the difference, man. No, I've always been intrigued by London. I would really love to check it out. Short of the bad teeth, though, I just off question. What was your least favorite thing about London, the country?
Just the food.
And then, what's your favorite thing about London?
You know what I really liked was everyone was so nice, to be honest. Like, you know, they talk different and stuff. Like, things are like funny at some points and stuff. But like, everyone was just so like polite and nice. Everyone dressed really nice when they went everywhere, and it was just kind of like this vibe that I just really enjoyed. You know?
Yeah, dude, you felt like you were a kid again. Like, where's your goddamn polo?
Yeah, yeah. Damn it, she was right,
dude. Mom's had it right, bro.
So you come back from the States and they're like, we need 29 pieces of art in a year, essentially.
So when I was over there, I stayed, and then they basically said, then like, we want to have you as a brand new artist. We love your work so much. Next year, October 13th, during our freeze week, because that's the biggest week. So everyone's in town. They're offering me the biggest space they have, the biggest spot of the year. And like, they're like, but we want to do 3 shows with you. This one next October, LA, and then a Switzerland show after that.
Sick.
So, but like, you know, that you get into it, it's weird because like, it's such a risky business that everything's good today, and then tomorrow it's like, hey,
what if nothing's
totally flop?
You know, so like, you do have to be business mindset if you want to be doing this, and you know, and I want to be doing this for the rest of my life. So like, having a show in Evansville, like, that's great and fun. They gave me an opportunity, I did it, but it's like, I threw the canvases in there, and it's like, well, is someone going to buy it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no plan. There's no nothing. They have, you know, a system where
they've been doing it
Exactly.
for a long time.
And they've got people that have money and want to spend it on art, not just people walking through just
I imagine
to
the
see
Freeze
art.
Fest is probably like a bunch of people with a lot of money who talk funny.
It's like the Kentucky Derby of art.
But they're like showing up knowing like, I'm buying 3 pieces for my fucking 3 different mansions, and I'm going to buy them. What's the newest, hottest thing?
Yeah.
Who's who?
Yeah.
That's why they're there. You know what I mean? Like,
It
they're
is.
going to buy.
It is. Who's the hottest artist? I'm going to buy it. And the best thing you can say to that person is, sorry, it's sold out. You can't have it.
Yeah. Sorry.
You
Come
know
back
what I'm
next
saying?
year. Yeah.
Come back next year when our price is triple.
Or get in my DMs. What's up?
Right.
Yeah.
Get it before the paint even
Dude,
touches the
slip in my
canvas.
DMs,
Yeah,
bro. You can cut a check to fucking Cooper. Sorry, but anyway,
a whole year of art basically is something I wanted to touch on too, because like, one, you know, you got a timeline of like, you know, here's when all this needs to be done, but like, what keeps you away from burnout? Like in that time, because like
that's a lot of work and a short amount of time.
You said you were doing art 7 days a week, 8 to 13 hours a day,
every day, dude. This entire year, I had 4 days off all this year. I went to Missouri to see my family for 2 days, and then I went to Kentucky Lake with my buddies for 2 days, and every other day I was doing that.
Did you at least black out on those 4 days? I would have had to.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I would have had to. Just like
it was just
cut loose, get gone,
drinking in a different location.
Just fucking peace out.
Yeah,
I'm out, dude.
100%.
No responsibility. I don't want to do art. Just leave me alone.
Yes.
So how do you? So back to Thomas's question, like, how do you prevent the burnout though?
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know. I can't really speak on that. All I know is I'm so passionate about it and love what I do. Like that, you know, I was exhausted. They picked the work up actually last week. The final piece went out of my house, and it was just like the stress. I could just feel it, you know. And I was getting kind of at the end, like, because I knew it was the end, and it's just you're putting a few final touches here and there, and it's like, okay, you're almost there. Like, you know, you just got to finish. But like, I was really never burned out, because, you know, this is a great opportunity to show my best work, and then like to put me on a new scale, a new level with different clientele. So like, I just looked at the whole thing as such a positive situation that I was like, I gotta keep going every day.
And do you think since you lived the same place as your studio, you almost had like a routine down that made it less fatiguing?
You had to,
100%.
It's so easy that way.
And my girlfriend probably is pissed off the entire year, but it's like, dude,
they almost always are, just for the record.
But it's like
you're alive and breathing. She's upset. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
That my wife is the
I'm
same
still
way.
alive.
She's like, he hasn't died yet. It's been 8 fucking years.
She's like, another Sunday with a podcast.
Yeah, bro. She's like, he's drunk again. Like, God damn it.
But like, so like, I wake up and I go out, you know, and then I see all the shit upstairs, and it's like I can't get away from it mentally. So it's like I gotta go. You know,
time.
So it's like, you know,
So does Maddox do anything? So this is relatively new. The whole Maddox like sponsorship / signing. Do they do anything to prop you up? Like,
What did they send you to Korea?
I did on my IG, the last one, the only post I've been able to post all year.
this guy?
Yes. And
Did you actually get to go to Korea
No,
as
no,
well?
no, I
Just
did
your
not.
artwork?
I'm sure that would have been kind of expensive. And I was still working on the show, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gone.
Been able to take a week or two
No
off
way.
to go. Yeah.
No way. And this actually is one of the biggest upcoming art places. I think it's like Seoul or something, Korea.
Yeah, Seoul. It's the capital.
Yeah. Okay. So I just learned about it.
SEOLE, I think.
Something like
Seoul.
that. But it's the new art mecca
It is,
of
dude.
that side of the world.
It is. And this year they just got invited to this art fair for the very first time.
Sick.
And then they put my piece right out front, and then like they sold it the first day. Everyone was super happy, and I was super thankful. So like they've been giving me like
You're
every
gonna return.
great opportunity that they they you know, Maddox has.
And this is like 4 by 5 feet.
That is 48 by 60.
Yeah, it's 4 foot by
5 foot.
5 foot. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so pretty much, did you just throw up the peace sign like, thanks guys, I'll be back next year, Korea? Like, are you coming back next year to Seoul?
I would love to if, you know, Maddox
Gets
has me
invited.
and stuff. But the thing was, like, I was working on the show, so like they just reached out on WhatsApp and they're like, hey, we got good news and bad news. And I'm like, oh fuck, what, you know, because we've gone back
Yes.
about so many things all year, like
fuck.
this size of the canvas we're selling at this price, this and this, like, so I'm like, oh shit, you know. And they're like, good news, we got accepted to this art fair. And I'm like, sweet. And then like bad news
Sick.
is like I had sent a few canvases over early, get a handful done. They shipped them over and stuff. And they were like, we love this one so much, like we're taking that one from the show, so we need you to make another canvas.
Right.
You know, and it's like, oh,
Damn.
sweet. On, you know what I mean? And like, that's a big one. So that takes over, you know, a week. That could be a week and a half and things like that, with the amount of layers that I, you know, put on it to make it what it is. So I was like, oh, sweet. No problem. Yeah, I'll get right on that, you know.
Piece of
but
cake, dude. What
but
is it, Wednesday?
Yeah.
Fuck.
But the opportunity, I was like, I want a canvas there.
Right.
I want that content. So I was like, no problem. Take
Yeah,
it.
dude. That's sick though. Like, Seoul, big shout out to the Koreans, man. I love the Koreans. I work for the Koreans. My company is a Korean-owned company. Big shoots to them, man. They're awesome, and I do agree. I think there's a big room for art coming up in Korea.
I
dude.
heard that they're doing statues based on this cactus. Is it? Or
Yes.
that is
yes.
a Cooper cactus.
Yeah.
That's a coop cac, dude. That's a coop
Yes.
cac.
Yes, sir.
That's a Cooper cactus.
So they're
man.
talking about
Yes, sir.
if the statues go well, they're gonna make mini versions.
Yes, sir.
I wish this was like Madden and I could just be like, boom, right here. You know what I'm saying? Dude, that's a sick fucking cactus though, and
But-
they're
so-
making statues of it where?
For the London exhibit, right? You
Yes.
said there's gonna be 4 or 6.
That's fucking sick.
I think
dude.
about 5 maybe. And then they're going to range from like 7 to 9 feet tall.
Right, they're gonna be huge.
And they're just going to be in the gallery, and you got to like walk around them with these like spikes poking out and stuff.
So
It's like a fucking episode of fucking Mario Bros up in
Yeah.
there, dude.
So like I watch a lot of
That's so fucking
what's
sick.
that
dude?
Blown
fucking-
Away.
I'm so
Blown Away.
flabbergasted,
Have you
dude.
watched any Blown Away? The glass blowing show?
No.
No.
Oh, so like
No,
they do
we're
like a
not psycho.
competition. They do like a glass blowing competition all the way up through. But
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when they get down to the big one, they got to do like it's 1v1 glass blower, but they got to fill the whole exhibit space.
Okay.
And then so like they'll have a theme and they got to fill the whole space and they got to choose where everything goes. Being so like they're in London, you're here, like. Do you work with them on like, yeah, I want this art piece next to this one, next to this one?
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
positioning is what he's referencing. Do you have any say in that, or
Yes.
in the showroom itself?
Yeah.
I want to be next to this person, or like.
Yeah, like where the work sits and like what piece, like when you first walk in, and then you know everyone's gonna first look right there because that's like the main, like, yeah, like I'm so OCD.
Is that what you were getting at?
Yeah,
Okay,
essentially
okay.
is like that, and then like I mean, you got like does the 29 paintings in this exhibit all have a similar theme, or is it like transition through the? Are you trying to tell a story through the whole exhibit? Is essentially,
That's
I
a
guess.
good question. That is a good question. So the 29 works. Like, is there a theme that matches all 29? Is there? What did that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. No, that's an interesting. And again, don't be bashful, dude. Tear it up. We're gonna leave this in actually too, so no rush either. Just help yourself. The dogs should not attack you. That might be the smartest question, Thomas, that you've ever asked. Honestly, like I think that I wasn't really thinking that all 29 were going to be in the same room at the same time. But if I were an artist, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That'd be
that's
a
normally how they work.
Yeah, it
though.
would be like in my head immediately, I was thinking emotions. So you could be like, when I started this journey, I was really, really happy. And then you're like happy, 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 then maybe neutral, neutral, and then just anger or angst
Right.
or
like,
anxiety.
What's the story between all 29?
Dude, imagine his art with like, you see happy, happy, cactus, fucking, and then anxiety. And it just goes like,
or
Picasso.
like decrepit cactus.
Yeah, dude. Or like a cactus, like
melting,
like torn in half at the top, and it's like hanging by a thread, falling over or something, dude. That's insane, man. I think that might be the best question you've ever asked, and I'm really pumped about. I'm really pumped just in general that Cooper's in today, and he has returned. Help yourself, yeah, please. Cooper has returned. There he is. Not everybody can do it like I can, man. I got the bladder of a steel fucking ox, dude. I'm telling you.
Military.
I was not born with that, dude. All my buddies know too. They're like, if we're going like on a trip or something, they're like, dude, did you bring a water bottle?
Dude, I've done 90. This is 92 episodes, or 92 that I've aired. Just watch out for the tree, man. Easy, bro. Fucking dude, he's gonna knock.
I think Brian's only taken one bathroom break ever.
Dude, no. Out of 92 episodes that I've aired, I think I've pissed 4 times.
Oh my God.
And a couple of them were like almost 3-hour episodes, and I was like, dude, there's just like
Jesus.
And I'm hoofing them down. I'm going easy tonight because obviously I'm still drunk. Mm-hmm.
But no, back to the question.
Ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh yeah. God bless you.
God bless you. And if you interrupt a guest one more goddamn time.
Anyways, back to the question. Is there like a general theme or story you're trying to tell through all the works?
Yeah, fucking Helen Keller over here, dude. Jeez, I can't.
By the way, follow the real Helen Keller on Instagram. It's beautiful.
Well, I'll show you that after. But anyway, so is there a theme to the 29?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say the theme is, if you click back real quick, and then you could see. Just even the top right image right there.
This one?
Yeah. So I would say a big theme of my work is the focal point of this hi-fi stereo. And the story behind that is down the street, my grandparents, my mom's parents, they had this 1966 Magnavox hi-fi stereo. So like no one ever got to touch it. It was super old. So
very expensive too.
Very expensive.
In its time, it was expensive.
Yeah, and they bought that back in the day. So it was like no one touched that, or like don't go around it. So like for Christmas or Easter, only like select holidays when all the family from out of town would be in, my grandpa would come over and put records on. And it was just like everyone was together. We're opening presents.
To play vinyls.
Yes,
oh yeah, I'm seeing that now.
This is a more modern version.
Okay.
But the focal point of the work is that memory from my childhood. It was such of like outstanding, like, you know what I mean? Like it was a special moment.
Stamped in your memory.
Yeah. It was like that feeling. Everyone been in the room, putting records on, my grandma singing, stuff like that. And then, this is a modern version of that, but that is like a focal point of it. And then, to be honest, the rest is just like this wild interior vibe that like I've created now from
there's so much texture, I feel like, in different patterns that like still flow very well together, all combined.
But it is like heavily, like you just said, it is heavily interior, but you have like this odd way of like tying in. I don't know if your grandparents had like a lot of plants or something, but like you have an odd way of tying in like the portrait is painted indoors. Like it's clear that it's a painting of indoors, but then there's like this outdoors influence, and I dig it, dude. It's not just like a cactus in a pot, but it's like you've got these like
elephant
leaves,
ears and vines.
Yeah, these leaves that are just like lining the
money
frame.
Tree.
It's almost like you're like in the woods and you're like glimpsing into a magic door of like of like your childhood, of like your memory. And that's really cool, man.
Thank you.
I don't think that like, I don't know dick about art. I really don't, but I know that I'm pretty artsy fartsy. Like I like music and stuff, so like I can interpret things, and I really like what you got going on. So is a lot of what you put out in those 29, are they all interior, like all indoor shots, if you will?
Yeah. So it's gonna be all of like the hi-fi stereo, with all of this wild interior, and a lot of that is just from like my travels of where I've been. Like Miami, I started using a lot of bright colors. LA is where I was really exposed to like all these different wild plants, so that's when I started adding the plant elements.
That's neat. Yeah.
You see the pattern, all these crazy patterns in the shadows from how I worked in Illustrator and graphic design. I'm bringing that. So really all the thing around it's just like my journeys and where I've been. I've just been adding that stuff in, and then I don't I don't have one posted yet. You're about to see a lot of them, but like they're these, I'm calling them speaker stacks. So it's basically just like a ton of speakers with a bunch of different shadows and stuff popping out. It's kind of hard to describe now when we can't have a visual. I'm a visual guy too, so if someone's trying to explain something to me, I'm like,
right.
You show me a picture. But
when I start looking at you again, like, be worried. You know what I mean? But you haven't lost me yet. Like, I'm with you. I'm with you. But like, so you're like stacking these speakers and different shadows, like maybe depicting certain things or like whatever. And
just finding. So I have these wild interiors, and then more of this simplified version of just like these speaker stacks, which, you know, just represents like, you know, harmony in the universe. And you know, I love music. We all love music. Like. And anyone, I think, can like look at that, whether you're in Africa, Asia, here, like, you know, everyone loves, like, music is like the sound of the universe.
And we,
you know what I mean?
We all generally agree on what a speaker looks like.
Yeah,
it's not like a crazy conceptual fucking far-fetched to ask a kid from Malaysia what a speaker looks like.
Right,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So one question I did have, I actually have two questions. I'm a big sports guy, right? Like you used to be, or maybe you still even are a little bit, but like college Final Four, right? So NCAA, they started, for football, they started this Final Four. And I've heard they're expanding it. I've created my own Final Four, and I want to know who you got picked winning who, okay? We're doing it with artists, though.
Artists?
Yeah. So top four, and we're going back to art history days.
Okay.
So Final Four bracket boils down to Michelangelo is the number 1 seed.
I was about to say him.
Leonardo Da Vinci is the 2 seed.
Okay.
Van Gogh is the 3 seed, and Picasso is 4 seed.
Yeah.
So we're going to say 2 versus 4, 1 versus 3. And I'll pull it up over here so you can kind of... Oh, wait, no, I can't. Hold on a second. But yeah, I'll pull it up right here so you can see what I'm working with. So we got 1 versus 3 and 2 versus 4.
So Michelangelo versus Van Gogh.
Who do you got winning Michelangelo over Van Gogh? Who do you got?
I got Van Gogh.
I'm going Van Gogh as well.
I got Van Gogh.
That's a clear cut. Who do you got?
Yeah.
Going Van Gogh? Easy. Easy peasy.
The one-eared legend.
Dude,
Yeah,
100%, dude. He was fucking psycho.
He took that to a stripper. Did you know that?
I knew it was like a...
It's like a whore.
It was like a vagrant or some kind of like a vagabond. Like I knew it was like a dicey person, but I didn't know the whole story.
Yeah.
And then the self-portrait is like him with his ear cut off. That was like his last...
Okay.
Was that his last?
He made a lot of self-portraits, but...
was that not his last one with his ear cut off with the bandage?
That could have been. I'm not for sure on that.
So
but
Leonardo da Vinci versus Picasso.
I think this is pretty clear cut.
I got Picasso.
I'm going Vinci.
Okay.
I would have gone Vinci.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
going Picasso.
He's a G, dude.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we'll go
Picasso versus Van Gogh.
Whew, that one's wild, dude.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird now that I'm like so mentally like learning about all of art history and stuff like that. And Picasso was really the first artist to discover like photography and stuff like that. And
yeah, because he was in the late 1800s, right?
And that's why he has like a giant name too. I'm not saying like, you know, his work wasn't good. He painted all the time and shit like that. But like
Starry Night was Picasso.
Yeah, it's just
Screaming Faces was Picasso.
Van Gogh.
That was Van Gogh.
Yeah.
Starry Night's Van Gogh too.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm not very good at this.
But see what I'm saying? Like, if you had to sit right here and say, like, name like 3 Picasso paintings, you probably couldn't do it. You know what I mean?
He did do a lot of square. I don't know what you call it, cubism.
Yeah,
did he do a lot of cubism.
He invented cubism. Yes.
Thank you.
So I'm obviously like I'm no one to sit here and diminish Picasso, but it's just like interesting. Like I've watched a lot of documentaries that he like discovered a lot of film and stuff early on and stuff like that. But it's just crazy to think like
probably led to him getting into, or cubism led to that, or that led to cubism.
So,
one of the two.
also,
that's interesting.
On this timeline of these types of people, Virgil, and the way that he would design things. Do you find yourself like? Did you pick up any of his books? And like so,
I got the green one.
Yeah, which is really hard to get nowadays.
Yeah, I bought it here about a month ago at Barnes & Noble.
Oh, really?
There was just one, and I was like, I'm going to get it.
Right.
Yeah, and I actually painted that in one of my canvases.
I think I saw that actually. It's
going to be in my new show.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I put something
on your story or something.
It probably was. I try to show a little bit, but not too much. It's been a crazy year because
just the tip.
Yeah,
don't.
I could have sworn I saw that, and I was like, I have to mention that because Virgil was huge for our time, and just like as a graphic design on up, you know, like legend in that aspect. What do you think advice would you have for somebody wanting to get into
I have one more question.
Canvas? or just the art field in general, maybe.
I mean, to be honest, like in college, it was just like studying like a bunch of dead artists in books, right? And it was like, okay, like I'm going to work my whole life if I want to be a painter and never like get discovered or never have money. It was like this weird stigma, but it's like, dude, now with technology the way it is, it's like, dude, just don't listen to anyone. Just work as hard as you can, create work, and then put it out. And then just consistently over time do that. You just have to be consistently putting out good work, no matter what you're doing, painting, music, or whatever. And then like someone will eventually give you an opportunity, and then you have to take that opportunity, and that opportunity will lead to the next one.
And I think that's a key point. Like at that point in one's life, like everyone, if you do something that you love and you really, really in the art field and you really, really enjoy it, when that opportunity arises, if you shit the bed, bro,
it could be over. I mean, one thing could change your life.
Blink of an eye. I mean? But then at the same time, like you seize that opportunity, like you just said, it opened up another doorway,
the next door,
and another doorway. I did have one other question. So like your style of art kind of like it reminds me of a little bit of like a Starry Night-esque kind of vibe. The textures you use and the way that just kind of the colors come through, obviously more vibrant. But where do you land at on, did we talk about drug usage?
No.
Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Drug usage and art. What do you think? Just in general, is this something that you've tried before, like trip acid or
psychedelics?
Yeah, or even just like get really fucking stoned or whatever. Like I don't know. Like what experience do you have with like any kind of drug and art?
Yeah, I think. I mean, to be honest, psychedelics in college played a really big part of opening and expanding my mind to
more possibilities
at the end of the day. I mean, like the patterns and stuff that I'm painting now and stuff, like these are things that I, would see like if you trip some shrooms or something like that, you know what I mean? And you look at Picasso and he was, doing peyote all the time, and Van Gogh, like, I mean,
peyote's fun.
You know what I mean? Like I'd never even seen it. I've never tried peyote, but
it's a cactus and you'll throw up, but it's fun.
You'll get nauseous. But,
okay.
Yeah.
But I do think it might not be for everyone, but in my experience, I think it definitely put me at an advantage.
You kind of, well, not to say that like you're stoned making all of these. I don't want to make that a brash assumption, but I just look at your art and I'm like, man, if I was tripping,
you could stare at it for hours.
I would get lost and just be like, I would become this world.
Yeah.
It's intriguing. Like I generally am nice to everybody that comes on the show, but I am honestly like, I really do like your art. I'm not a big art guy.
Thank you.
I do have a follow-up question.
Okay.
Real quick. For someone like me who's not an art guy, but maybe they're listening to this and they're watching on YouTube and they're seeing your work and they're like, yeah, that's dope. How does someone like who doesn't have $500 purchase some of your work? How can I purchase some of your work and get it like in here in the podcast studio for like not $500?
We do.
Do you do like smaller stuff?
We do. Yeah. So we do mainly like with the show next month, the big show. We're gonna have 29 canvases, and then I believe we'll have maybe around 10 small drawings.
Okay.
So that would be the cheaper thing that like anyone could hopefully afford.
Yeah. So I mean, my question is, so when the show in London's happening, and then you have 2 more shows after that, correct? Or did the other 2 shows already happen?
No, this is my first time working with them.
So your first show happened, and then your other 2 shows. So during this like limbo period, are you just producing art to sell on the side freelance? Like, because surely you can't turn that switch off.
No, that never goes away. I want to say unfortunately, but probably fortunately. I mean, but I've already got 2 pieces started on for Art Basel in December. We were talking about Wynwood.
Right, yes.
So last year I was at Art Basel.
Ye's going to buy some Cooper piece.
Maybe in a few years, but I mean, you never know. But so I've already started that, and then I already have actually, to believe it or not, 7 canvases started for like possibly next year, my October show, because they take so long and stuff.
Right.
And like,
you'd like to have more than 4 weeks off this next year.
Time off is great, but after like 2 to 3 days, I just like,
you're ready to go back.
Like I can't like
fidgety.
Yeah, I just can't do it. Like I got too much. Like I just have this energy. I got to get out, and I like doing my thing, and like
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I just like creating, building something. So
We gotta get a piece in the studio, man. Like you're seeing the one in front of you here.
Yeah.
That gentleman makes art out of like we said, cut up cartoon articles and pieces it together like you're looking at an Air Force One there. Really neat stuff. So I would like to get that one framed. I need to, and then B, like we'd like to get something of yours to kind of get in here and hang up.
Hell yeah.
And then before
We can talk about that after.
Before we wrap up and put a bow on it, we also want to get you scheduled when you're done with all 3 shows.
Oh.
If you manage time, just to talk about how they all went and get a quick, back in the studio, back in the Ville, back to the grind, back to the bristle, if you will.
Yeah. Back to the bristle. Yeah, dude. Fuck. Yeah, man. Back to that canvas life.
Yeah. Cooper, was there ever a moment like it doesn't have to be in the last year when you're grinding out on this project?
Last 10 years.
Yeah, at any point in this journey where you were just like, man, fuck this. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And like or it could just be just life in general, it gets overwhelming. And then like you don't necessarily have to go too into depth on that, but then like what pulled you through it? What keeps you going? What keeps a light on your fire?
We're more curious in what pulled you through. So you can get as in detail as you want as far as what the thing was, but like we want to know what got you through it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's ever been like one thing that like brought me down so much where I didn't want to paint and be me and be who I am. Like that's who I am at the end of the day through these paintings. And, at the end of the day, like, I don't want to say, hey, like, that's all I have, but like, that's who I am. And
that's what you're going to be remembered for when you're gone.
Yeah. And, I think, when I moved from Los Angeles back to Evansville, I think that was a really tough time for me because I was single. I moved into I left my buddy. So now I'm like really just like living by myself and like, I work from home in the studio. You know what I mean? I couldn't have a dog there. So it was just like, I think when I moved there, it was kind of a lonely time. And I was really down, like, what am I doing anymore? Like, and then I'm back here with like friends and family. It's like out there and I was like going for this big thing. And then here it's like,
it's slower.
You know what I mean? It's a lot slower energy. And then like,
I got to be more focused.
I got in my head so much. And then like even now, like I don't get out of the studio. It's like if I take the dog out, like outside, that's the only time I might go outside all day. And then I'm upstairs with my headphones alone all day. So I think that time was probably like a really low time of just like, what am I doing? Is something I got to start this whole new world with the gallery system. It's going to take years. Maybe I'll just go back to like just painting the wildflower and stuff like that. That was making some money. It was just a tough time. So I think that was probably the lowest. And then what got me through is just like, I think just the inspiration from Nipsey playing in my head, like this thing in my head of what I've already done and like where I want to be.
You already came this far.
I came this far. I have stuff where I want to be in 5 years from 2 years ago. And then flash forward 2 years now, like I have my first thing in London next month. Like it didn't take 5 years. It took 2 just by believing in it every day.
And doubling the amount of work other people are putting in.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a huge thing that like stands out. The fact that, you know what I mean? Like the 29 works that you just fucking crushed. You know what I mean? Like live, eat, breathe, and sleep art. I feel like to do anything worth doing in this life that to put out a product that people are going to want to see, like you have to be the kind of guy that is like work, eat, breathe, sleep your craft. And that's interesting, man. And I almost feel like it's intrinsic, like it is a part of you. Like we were talking to Steve Matthews and I brought that up early in the show, but like, again, like, do you feel like you were just put here like to do art? Like this is what you were supposed to do. Like it just happens and it's like, I don't have to try. It's just happening.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I had that thing like earlier when I said I was 7 years old and I have that book and I can look at it and then like, you do have to wake up and you do have to try and you have to laser beam focus, but like, there's really nothing else I can do at the end of the day.
But your dexterity, like your hand is just like motion.
It does.
Like
yeah. When you get into that
like,
flow
it's
zone.
Just there.
Yeah,
it's like,
it is.
You're meant for this, man.
Yeah.
And then where can people find you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I would just say my Instagram, iam.cooper. That's where, that's all I have right now. I'm just kind of like with the rollout of the show coming up here, we're going to be posting a lot of videos and all of my paintings are going to be coming up. So I haven't been able to post anything all year except the South Korea painting. So I'm super excited to get that new work out there.
And then last minute shout outs.
last minute shout. So we like to give the last couple minutes to you. This is last minute shout outs, people that have gotten you here, people that are getting you there moving forward. And then also take this time, like your upcoming exhibit on October 13th. Push anything you want. The last 2 minutes is all you, my good sir.
Okay. Yeah, I would say October 13th. I have my first international solo exhibition with Maddox Gallery with 29 works, and we have a screen print. I'm super excited about it. I'll be leaving in 2 weeks for that. That's, going to be awesome. And then I'd just say shout out to all my friends who I still talk to, my family. I had dinner with them tonight, and, they're great people. And they put up with all my shit and my craziness. And then more importantly, my girlfriend, Tabitha, and my little beagle dog, Bashy Boy, they're the world to me. And, they helped me get through this. So,
well, make sure they listen to this and or watch it. One of the two. Cooper, dude.
Thank you guys for having me.
I can't tell you thank you enough times. Like, you're a huge deal across the board. I just you're crushing it. East Coast, West Coast, in different countries with people with bad teeth and people. Korea, dude, you're everywhere. So just. Thomas, I don't know, man. Thank you, right?
Yeah, thanks, dude. Hats off.
You're busy as fuck, dude. So I just thank you.
Big shoots.
You could have been doing anything for 2 hours, and you decided to hang out with the Days Grimm. So thank you so much, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Check us out on the YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever. Subscribe wherever you get your pods. Check us out and follow. Cooper on his IG, on Maddox. We'll have links to all that in the description. So just thank you so much, sir. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much.
This has been another thrilling episode of the Days Grimm. My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm.
And this has been Cooper, guys. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Did Wes tell you I hit him up earlier this week? I was like, you bastard. I was like, you get Cooper in like a week before us. I was like, you knew. You knew. Just giving him a hard time about it.
Dude, I told him I'll fucking fight you, bro. Dude, that went really well for me not being like sober. I'm pretty pumped about it, dude.
Hey guys, if you liked what you heard today, there will be a new episode next Tuesday, as well as every Tuesday at 6 a.m. So hit that subscribe button and let your phone do all the work for you.
You're good, man. You're good, dude. Tie this puppy up. Oh, we got the can down. Nailed it. Suck in on my titties. Let's go.